Row your boat off to victory. My name is Victor Hovland and I took down Scotty. Woo! What a playoff that was for all of us. David versus Goliath. Everything you could ask for. Perfect drives, great approach shots, a huge birdie putt, and a lip-out, pressure-filled putt from world number one. We're going to discuss that, talk about all the unreasonable expectations that some people have after receiving a golf lesson, address some of the most hated characters in the golf industry, talk a little bit about Bryson's gay-ass interview, and discuss how clubs everywhere are bracing themselves for sandbagger season. Guests everywhere are showing up with an 8 handicap, getting ready to shoot even par on their own ball. We've got all that and a ton of out-of-bounds material on today's episode of Back 9 Sunday, brought to you by FourPutts Media. Let's tee off. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Back 9 Sunday. I'm your host, as always, Tin Cup Drew, joined by the sweetest co-host in all of sports, Dottie Longbody Pepper. I want to start off by apologizing about my audio still being shit. I'm aware I'm just not smart enough to figure out how to fix it. I've got all this fancy equipment and no idea how to use it. My only resource is ChatGPT, and we've had mixed results lately. If any of you know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing, please reach out to FourPuttsMedia@gmail.com. I really didn't get to watch a ton of golf this past weekend. We had a one-day member guest at the club I caddy at on Thursday, looped 27 holes, and then there was a shootout. We didn't make it. And then member on Saturday, Sunday, where my team did win their flight. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Needless to say, I was just keeping track of the tournament on my phone. I'm not a huge fan of the 20 under par PGA Tour tournaments. I like to see bunched up leaderboards a lot closer to single digits. But I do love a playoff, and we got a good one on Monday morning. Should we just do all playoffs in golf on Monday morning? Because I really was looking forward to waking up and watching that. I think there should be some new sort of golf game or coverage or something that's going on at 9 a.m. every Monday that all of us want to actually wake up and tune in for. I think that'd be great for the game. It might actually boost some viewership. Did you know that golf is by far the most played sport in America? Roughly 48 million people in 2025 participated in some type of golfing event. It's just a rough 14% of the population playing a game that almost none of them watch. I think one of my least favorite characters at a club is the guy that takes club events so serious. The people that treat club events like they're the PGA Tour. Look, it's okay to care. I want to win too. I have a competitive nature, but I'm not going to be a complete fucking dildo while doing it. That's what happened to us in round one of Thursday's member guest, one-day member guest. I don't know, it's the first time I'd ever been in one of those. I like it. It's just like 27 holes plus a shootout, the main day of what would be a normal member guest. You just don't have to come back for the 2 meaningless rounds the next day if you're out of it already. But my guys just couldn't get out of their own heads. And it was because, to their defense, our opponent was just unbearable to look at. And I understand, I'm talking about a member right now. Someone watching this is going to be able to put it together who I'm talking about. And I don't care. This motherfucker was like 5'6", 135 pounds, soaking wet, holding a brick. Left-handed, wore the most boring outfit you've ever seen anybody wear in their life. He wore fucking pants. And he wasn't even that good, but man, did he wax the floor with my guys because they couldn't get out of their own way. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just one of those guys you look at and you go, I hate this. Which rolls me into a secondary point that I kind of breezed over there. I think one of my least favorite things are members that intentionally wear pants because they think they're good at golf. I used to think wearing pants was cool. Oh, I'm a pro. I can't wear shorts. I have to wear pants. Oh, I'm a pro. I get the privilege of sweating my cock off in 97 degrees because I'm too good for shorts. For 12 years, I never wore shorts on my work property. And to this day, I was never once clocked in shorts. I wore pants every day. I'm in the business. I'm a professional. How dare I ever possibly wear shorts again? I'm above that. Fuck that shit. Let the pros wear shorts. This past Saturday and Sunday, I caddied in the traditional member at my club. Let me tell you how fucking stupid this shootout was. So, we made the shootout, and there's 12 teams that make the shootout. All 12 teams go to number 16 tee box. We proceed to get broken up into 2 pods of 6. I'm in the first pod. Everybody tees off. My guys stripe one down the middle. We then proceed to the fairway. Everybody plays their second shot. Everybody hits the green. We drive up to the green. Second pod tees off, is now waiting in the fairway. Well, my guys were first to putt. We just happened to 3-putt from another zip code, and we're the first team eliminated by the playoff. But we're going to breeze right over that and talk about how the other 5 teams all made pars, and we're all in a chip-off. 5-way chip-off, while pod number 2 is now fucked in the middle of the fairway, twiddling around their 7-irons, waiting to hit their approach shots. What? What are we doing? This is the problem, right? This is everything that's wrong with the golf industry. This is why you empower your golf professionals to run your fucking club tournaments. It's the only problem you have with a single owner that doesn't know golf, and the problem with every committee that's ever existed. For the love of Christ, bring back single owners who empower their professionals to run their club and make decisions. Because I still believe you need a single owner. You need one judge, one jury, one executioner, one person carrying out a unified vision, voice, and somebody that brings unison to the club. Now, that owner is not always going to be right. And I'll tell you why, with an example at my current club. At some point in time, I don't know what happened, but in recent weeks, a kid was thrown from a golf cart, fell off a golf cart, was caddying for his dad, I don't know what the fucking story is, but regardless of the situation, some younger kid fell out of a golf cart. So the resulting consequence is caddies are never allowed to ride on the back of carts again. Now, I think that's retarded, but guess what? I haven't seen a single caddy ride the back of a cart since this happened. Boom, decision. No discussion, no weeks-long group committee talk, none of that bullshit. Just boom, we're done. Now, I'm going to tell you why I don't like this decision, because this is what happens when you have somebody that is not in golf running a golf course. Nobody should ever get killed from a golf cart, but it happens way too often. Someone gets thrown from the cart, caddies fall off the back. It happens way more frequently than it ever should. To be honest, getting thrown from a cart as a caddy is kind of your rite of passage. And it usually only happens once, even to the best of us. But what I can't stand is when one person ruins something for everyone. All we need to use is our brains out there, people. When I would train caddies, part of caddy training was actually teaching them how to ride the back of a golf cart. Do not grab the rain cover, you will fall off. Even if you haven't been thrown from the cart, we all have maybe had that close experience with the old hanging the foot out of the cart. I'm a big dangle my foot while I drive the cart guy. And there has been a couple moments in time in my life where I almost lost that foot. Golf carts are fun. Golf carts are dangerous. Just please be careful out there. If you guys couldn't tell, I'm actually old. Because when I went through the PGM program, level 1, you still had to fly down to Florida. And I honestly still think it should be that way. Are you telling me the cost is still the same, but now you do level 1 virtually? Does that not feel like a money grab? You got a ton of valuable information down there, and more importantly than that, you met people and made tremendous, amazing connections that stay with you forever. 10 plus years later, I'm still running into people from my level 1. My roommate ended up being the head pro of the reciprocal club at the last place I worked at. Another guy I went to the program with is a member at the club I caddy at. First time he sees me at the range, he goes, "What the fuck are you doing here?" That's golf. You have no idea how incredibly small the golf world is. And you're taking that away from up-and-coming professionals by not allowing them to go to level 1 and making them do it virtually. You're not meeting anybody. No offense, but I'm not a screen baby. I don't learn that way. I would be so incredibly fucked if this was the only way I could do it. At the last club we were at, I watched our first-year assistant struggle immensely, juggling the PGM program, his first green grass job, his first real golf salary, and trying to still enjoy life all at the same time. It wasn't easy. It was rough. And I'm not saying he couldn't handle it. He's still doing it. He's a fantastic guy, great worker, great head on his shoulders, loves golf. He's everything you want in a PGA professional. I'm just worried he's not going to make it. Just like 70% of us don't. My advice to anybody that's in the PGM program is simple. Do everything you can to get through level 1. As soon as you get through level 1, everything else gets better. Level 2 and 3 are a joke. So if you're sitting there wondering if this is what you actually want to do with your life, and you've already invested the time, just get it done. Finish. I promise Class A looks a lot better on a resume than former PGA associate. Women's golf had a major this past weekend. I know most of you didn't know that because, let's be honest, most golf fans can only name about 10 LPGA players, if that, and the girl that won wasn't one of them. I don't even know how to pronounce the girl that won's name, and I'm not going to try, out of respect, but congratulations on your first major championship. Now, golf is for everybody, but this stereotype lives so incredibly true, it's painful. The slightest whisper of a Women's Golf Association event makes club pros everywhere want to paint the ceiling of their office red. It's unfortunate because I don't want that stereotype to be true, and 99% of the time the ladies that are involved in these leagues are wonderful people. The 1% that always somehow end up in charge of running these things are the queens of cunts. The most miserable 24-carat problem-having, never worked a day in their life, always complaining people on the fucking planet. Why don't we get what the men get? You guys just hate women's golf. Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up, Karen! I understand some clubs have a phenomenal women's program. That's awesome. Every club should. I'm not saying I don't like that. What I'm saying, the thing that hinders women's golf more than anything are the very women that fucking play. The ladies that are still carrying around the baggage of the 1940s when women weren't welcome in the game. And they never let it go. You guys just don't like women's golf, so we never get any of the cool stuff that the men get. How come we don't get lunch? How come we don't get a spouse's dinner? I don't know. Maybe because there's 18 of you for the ladies member guest, and of which I have a full group of members that didn't bring any guests. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because I can only do so much with the $300 I've been given to give you guys tea gifts and lunch and a full day of fun and excitement. The older groups of ladies are often so unwelcoming to the new members as well. It's the second they find out that you're like new to the game or you can't play golf in under 3 hours, they're like, I don't want to play with her. It's one of the worst dynamics you'll ever deal with in a country club. And let me make it clear, I love women. Not the way that Phil Mickelson loves women. Well, since we're already here, let's just completely sail out of bounds for the rest of this episode and close this one out. One of the reasons I hated giving golf lessons was because of the unrealistic expectation that some people had receiving their lesson. It's like They thought that the second I put them in a normal golf grip, they were just going to drop 7 strokes. No. Anytime you get somebody to do something correctly for the first time in golf, it feels like shit, and they always hate it. They're like, it doesn't feel right. Yeah, it's because what you like to do is wrong. Of course it feels like shit. Did you magically think it was going to be one lesson and then you do something completely not natural you and you're going to be good? What's wrong with you? Let's talk about some of the worst member characters you have to deal with. The guy who always needs a quick fix. 5 minutes before club championship, member guest, doesn't matter. Comes in frantically from the range. Hey, you got a minute? Hey, I just need 30 seconds. As if you're not in the middle of trying to organize and send off one of the biggest events in the year. Dan, brother, if you need a 30-second lesson before you go tee it up right now, you might as well just go home. There's no chance for you. The member who belongs to 6 different clubs, all of them costing at least a $200,000 initiation, yet he forgot his sunglasses. So do you have a lost and found? I'm just going to borrow a pair today. Oh man, I left my hat. You got lost and found? Let me just borrow that hat. You cheap bastard. Ugh, the entitled club member's wife. The one that's completely clueless to how any of this shit works. Thinks that you need to bend over backwards and be at her beck and call. Roll out the red carpet for when she walks into the golf shop. Has that holier than thou attitude and is literally always speaking down to you as if you're a fucking peasant. Golf professional staff wearing suit and tie for club events. Gay. The head pro at the club I caddy at was in my group the other day. We're on hole 5 and he asked me, he goes, you ever gonna get back into the business? And I said, no. Nope. 4 times the charm for me. I think I'm done. He looks at me and he goes, good. I'll have to punch you in the dick if you change your mind. True story. What did I think about Bryson's interview? I really wasn't sure what side of the fence I was on before. You could have got me to go either way. But now, gay! I think I'm done with this guy. That shit was embarrassing. If you don't work at a club with a good employee golf program, I don't know why you're working there. It's basically the biggest perk of working in the golf industry and the only reason why a lot of us do what we do. So if your club holds playing privileges over your head like the course is somehow too good for you to play, you should go find another place, no matter how nice the club is. Sandbaggers are more common than you could ever imagine. Handicap management is a term I've heard way too much in my life. Grown men literally manipulating their handicap so they have an unfair advantage going into club events. You're a small person if you do that. You have a little dick. I don't care if everybody else does it. Be the bigger man. Golf your ball. Post all your scores. Quit being a bitch. Quit showing up to the member guest with an 8 handicap and shooting even par on your own ball, you piece of shit. I don't do the Mr. or Mrs. thing. At the club I grew up at, we were first names only. And I'm sorry, but after you've called some of the most successful people on the planet by their first name, I'm not going to show up to another club and address piddlefuck by Mr. So-and-so. That motherfucker's name is Bob. You call him Bob. And that has been today's episode of Back Nine Sunday, presented by FourPutts Media. We've got the John Deere Classic this weekend, and I'm not giving you any fantasy picks or advice because once again, I came dead last in my fantasy league. I promise you don't want my insight. I know the golf industry. Apparently, I don't know shit about the PGA Tour. Or maybe it's because I just keep picking Scotty Scheffler every week, and then I have to go for bottom-of-the-barrel scraps from there. Not a strategy I recommend, I think. And unfortunately, I did save some bad news for the end. I don't think I have golf on my docket anytime in the near future. I had a back episode, and I think we're going to be down for a while, at least a couple weeks. So please, FourPutts Nation, on behalf of Tin Cup Drew, get out there and play some golf for me, baby. I need you to do that for me. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. We're continuing to grow, and I promise this will be the future home of all things golf entertainment. If you want to be a part of the show, help us grow in any way possible, please reach out to fourputtsmedia@gmail.com. Like I said at the beginning, I'm still looking for someone to teach me how to fix my audio issues. But until then, I'm your host, as always, Tin Cup Drew, joined by Dottie Longbody Pepper. This has been Back 9 Sunday, presented by FourPutts Media. We'll catch you next week on the 10th tee. Thank you very much. Oh no, my hair was wild the whole time.